Bravo said no. Candy Burris recently sat down with Don Juan for an episode to speak on it and gave her thoughts on K. Michelle joining the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She acknowledged that K. Michelle was a great addition to the cast, and she also spilled some behind the scenes tea, revealing that Bravo once turned down Tami Roman.
These bitches trying to child boo.
For some reason, I feel like I heard Tami say this before. I don't know if it was I believe it was in a Carlos King interview where Tami had ran through her resume, and I believe that she talked about trying to join the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or Carlos saying that he tried to get her on the Real Housewives of Atlanta or something like that. I could be wrong. I believe I heard Tami say that before. It's not a secret in the world of reality TV, especially amongst Black talent, that Bravo is considered the suburbs and VH1 is considered the ghetto.
Ghetto, you know, a little bit hood.
Both networks have had their share of cringy moments, but Bravo's content has always felt a little bit more polished, right? A little bit more pulled up. That's why it came as a surprise to many when Kenya Moore revealed that K. Michelle was the new addition to the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I was shocked, and I don't think that I actually believed it until I saw her shooting with the rest of the cast. I thought that Kenya was lying. I thought that Kenya was lying. I kind of knew that she wasn't lying, but I don't think that I actually believed it until I actually saw K. Michelle shooting with the rest of the cast. Now, I have seen VH1 talent film on Bravo before and vice versa. For instance, I know that I've seen Candy shooting on Love and Hip Hop before with Rashida, and I'm sure we all remember when Jocelyn was filming on Married to Medicine, Buffy's first season. I believe Jocelyn had kind of got into it with Toya at the time, and I remember thinking, "Oh God, here we go," because Toya ain't scared of fighting, and Jocelyn was trying Toya, and Toya get out there.
Nah, bitch. Nah, bitch.
But I never thought that I would see anyone from VH1 be a full-time castmate on a Bravo show. Now, Candy, who is the longest running housewife on the Real House of Atlanta, said that she was shocked that Bravo chose K. Michelle because she had suggested people in the past, and they told her that they don't bring people in from other networks. She kind of revealed that she suggested Tammy Roman when she left Basketball Wives, and they said absolutely not. But she and Don Juan both believed that Tammy would have been a great addition to the show. When I saw this story, I actually went back and forth whether or not I wanted to talk about this or not, because I didn't want to paint Tammy or really anyone in a bad light. Because the truth is, Tammy is one of my favorite reality stars, and I've seen her in person before. And I actually feel like that if I met her in real life, that we would be cool. But Tammy on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I like Tammy, and when Tammy is fun, she's fun. But some of the time, Tammy is not fun, and when she's not fun, she can be unpredictable. She can. We've seen Tammy pop off time after time on Basketball Wives, and even as far back as when Tammy was on The Real World in the early 90s, Tammy was popping off then. I've literally seen Tammy go through all of the cast and the security on Basketball Wives trying to get to Duffy. And although it was entertaining, it wasn't a good look. Duffy didn't throw nothing at her. Duffy didn't call her out her name. She wanted Duffy to be quiet. She asked Duffy a question, and Duffy was answering her question. And Tammy wanted to punk the girl, thinking the girl wasn't going to speak up. And Tammy went through all of the cast and security trying to get to Duffy.
I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you do that.
And I would go as far as to say that Tammy is one of the reasons why yes, not just me, y'all too, and the talent over on Bravo see VH1 is ghetto because of the behavior from Tammy, Evelyn, and Jocelyn. I feel like that's their big three. I feel like those are the girls on VH1 that we see or we've seen behave in the past while we feel like
You in the hood now, baby.
how we've seen them behave on the show. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but Lisa Milan from Real Housewives of Dubai was actually on College Hill back in the day. And while she was on College Hill, I believe it was the first episode or the second episode, she actually had a fight on there. She did. I remember it was either the first episode or the second episode, but she actually had a fight. And I think the difference is that Lisa only had one fight on College Hill, and it was at least 10 years between then and when she joined the Real Housewives of Dubai. I used to watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in their earlier seasons before Mimi and the Shower Rod.
You nasty.
The only thing that I can remember K. Michelle doing is picking up a candle and throwing it at Rashida. And I believe that she hit, what was the name of the woman who she sung the song Gucci by the Gucci, Louis by the Louis, pop them tags, Carly Red. I remember her being backstage at a show or something like that, and Carly Red giving her some flowers or some roses. And I remember seeing her hit Carly Red with some flowers. But I don't think that K. Michelle has the reputation that follows Tammy. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see when Kandi actually recommended Tammy, because Tammy has left and came back to Basketball Wives a couple of times, and she said that when Tammy had left Basketball Wives. So I want to know when that was, because I'm telling you, if I'm working at Bravo and Kandi recommended Tammy, and I saw Hurricane Tammy storm through all of them people on their rooftop trying to get at Duffy, I would have fired Kandi. We've all heard some of the girls on Bravo before refer to the VH1 girls as like the hood, or what were like lower brow before.
That's wrong.
I remember when Dr. Heavenly, it was at the Married to Medicine reunion, and Dr. Heavenly ended up writing on Mariah's board, and she said, "This is not Married to Love and Hip Hop. We are better than this. She needs to go," right?
It's
elementary.
That ghetto shit gotta go.
Yeah.
This
And
is
you're
not
supposed to be all
married to
educated.
hip hop. She needs to go. We're better than this.
And I also remember an episode of Wendy Williams. I miss my girl.
Are you okay?
That's my auntie. She raised me. But I also remember an episode of Wendy Williams where Kenya Moore actually called in, and Wendy asked Kenya, was Jocelyn going to join the Real Housewives of Atlanta? And Kenya said, "No, we're just not that type of show." And I also do think an argument can be made that some people probably feel the way that they feel about Bravo being above VH1, because Andy Cohen is a white man, and Mona Scott Young and Shawnee O'Neal are Black women. And you know, whenever Black people get to doing stuff with people outside their race, they get to looking down on Black people doing things with other Black people. Ask Ricky Smiley, right? Nene thought that she was the shit when she was over there with Ryan Murphy. She thought that she was shitting on the girls because she was over there with Ryan Murphy. Ask Ricky Smiley. I will never leave a Ryan Murphy production and go to a Kandi Burruss production. But now she's not on any production.
Oh, bitch, please.
So you got to be careful on your way up, because you might need people on your way down.
Message.
You might need, but if we're being honest, I don't think that it started that way, right? I do believe that when the Real Housewives came out and then we saw Love and Hip Hop and VH1, I do believe that Bravo was like a notch above. We wasn't in the hood. But nowadays, especially on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and especially with Portia, with her fighting everybody all the time and her storylines, walking to somebody's house, leaving with their husband.
Trifling bitch.
You really can't tell the difference if we're watching Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore. We don't even know where we at sometimes with Portia on the screen.
I'm sorry. I have to be honest about it.
I've been feeling that way for a while now. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that Tammy would have been a great addition to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Do y'all think that Bravo is more pulled up than VH1? Or do you think that people only say that because Andy Cohen is a white man? Or do you think they're all the same? Let me know in the comments. Thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.